In this video, we're going to have a look at how to hold an electric guitar, which is the one I've got now, and an acoustic guitar. And the reason we're going to do both is because there are subtle differences in the way we will hold these instruments and in the way that the weight is distributed on each of them. So first things first, when you're holding any guitar, you want to make sure that your posture is good. I mean, that's just a general good rule for life, to have good posture. But we want to have a nice neutral back and nice neutral shoulders. What I'm basically saying there is don't hunch over like this, because this is really bad for you, okay? It's going to be really bad for your lower back. And I know the tendency with guitarists is to look over like this, so you're going to be leaning over a little bit, especially in the beginning, to see your chords. But anyway, we want to make sure we've got good posture. We also want to make sure, if we can, and this kind of seating is available to us, when we're sat down, we want to make sure that our legs are, we don't want our legs to be straight out like this. We want our legs to be at a slight downward angle. That's going to be the most comfortable position. So your thighs are going down that way, and then your knees down to the floor, okay? In terms of getting the guitar to sit right, well, of course, the body, the wooden body, is the heaviest part of the electric guitar. And with an electric guitar, actually, generally speaking, you should just be able to let it sit like that, and should just be able to balance on its own, okay? Now, to actually strum the strings, you're going to have your hand resting on like this as well, so that's going to even further make that even easier. What I have seen with students sometimes is the guitar will tend to fall down flat like this. Now this you really want to avoid, and I know it makes it a bit easier to kind of see your chords, but it puts the wrist under a lot of tension, okay? So you want to avoid making the guitar fall flat like this, or even at an angle like that. That's still a little bit too much of an angle. What you want is the guitar pressing up against your abdomen, and it wants to press in close to your body, okay? So you should feel some contact here with the instrument, and it should be as far up as you can. You don't want it forward on your leg like this. That's what you don't want. You want it right up against yourself, okay? And then this arm should just be able to rest here. And what you'll also find, as you just noticed, as I rested my arm here, the neck of the guitar swings that way, which is perfectly fine for this kind of example. And then when we come to play our chords, we just use this hand slightly to adjust the position, but that'll kind of happen naturally. But most of the weight, 90% of the weight, should be supported on this side, because if you're supporting the neck with this hand, then it's going to make it very difficult for you to play your chords, okay? So that is how we hold an electric guitar. So now I'm going to move over to the acoustic and demonstrate the very subtle differences which you might not know. So first thing I notice when I pick up my acoustic guitar is if I take this hand off, the guitar falls, okay? So that's just because of the way the weight of the acoustic guitar is distributed. So this arm actually does a little bit more work in this case. But apart from that, that's the only real difference. This arm kind of sits a little bit higher because of the size of the acoustic body. So that's going to make things a little bit different to an electric guitar. But that's it. In terms of everything else, playing your chords and getting your hand into the same position, it's all exactly the same. So that is how we hold an electric guitar and an acoustic guitar.